Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Hopefully all of you are having a wonderful day today, because today I'm here to bring all of you once again another anime review on the comedy of this anime season, Konosuba. So, Konosuba's newest episode has arrived, and with it, great comedy and just some great scenes throughout this episode, especially with Megumin and Kazuma. The second half of the episode, when it came to Megumin and Kazuma running from the creepy dolls, I was just laughing so hard, because that type of comedy, I've kind of seen that before, but the way it was done, it was different enough to where I could actually sit down and enjoy it and have a very good laugh. Now, what really made this episode so much better for me, though, was definitely using one of my actual things I'm scared of. Like, I've talked about this, I think, one time a long time ago, but I'm willing to bet that majority of you Chibits are unaware, but I'm actually afraid of dolls. I'm afraid of porcelain dolls like what was in this episode of, this episode of Konosuba. When you saw those dolls in this episode, and I saw, like, Kazuma, he turned around, he saw this doll in the chair, it freaked me the fuck out, because that's something I'm actually scared of, because a long time ago, my sister actually had this big, shelf full of dolls, porcelain dolls and stuff. They were fucking creepy. Oh my god, just seeing that type of shit, it just makes me remember the creepy porcelain dolls when I was growing up, when I was very, very young, and my sister had this huge shelf of them. I was scared. And seeing this stuff in here, it adds an extra layer of, comedy, because, I was scared, and I'm still slightly weirded out by porcelain dolls, but seeing that type of stuff in this episode with Kazuma and Megumin running away from it, I was able to just have a good laugh, sit back and relax, and just have fun. But that's not really all this episode brings to the table. For one, the first half of the episode introduces a new character, and she is a lich. Now, as you know, a lich is like an undead that can summon other undead, has, I guess, necromantic abilities. For instance, like a necromancer, stuff like that. And this character, to be honest with all of you, she was introduced or shoehorned into this series without any proper build-up or backstory. Now, we found out she's a lich. We found out that she is one of, the Demon King's knights, or, the strongest knights underneath the Demon King. But the way it was done is, it's like an entire volume worth of content was just axed out of the series just to get to this episode. Because when we have flashbacks talking about some of these scenes, it felt like the entirety of some of these scenes, like with the flashback we found out, could have been focused on an entire episode or an entire, 2 to 3 episodes, the way it was depicted in this episode. So I'm really upset when it comes to that, because it felt like there was a lot of content that was axed on Konosuba, and I can't really look past that, because as I've said many times in many other anime reviews I've done, I respect the entire content. Like, I'd rather get the entire story, even if it's slow-paced, than have content that's cut out and I just can't understand certain scenes later on down the road if there's something happens. I'm like, wait, how did this girl get here? Or what does this girl, why should I care about this said character? So the point is that with Konosuba this week, it felt rather rushed. The first half felt completely rushed, because the build up to finding out the backstory of, why this lich has a connection with Aqua, and then also seeing how there's supposedly a mistake with what Aqua did with the graveyard scene and all that, it just felt like a lot of content was cut out, at least an episode 2 or content. I thought I missed a episode, actually. Like, when this episode started, I saw this character introduced, and then, Kazuma's like, oh, this is, so-and-so and all that, like, hey, how you doing? And they were acting buddy-buddy. I'm like, wait, whoa, did I miss a fucking episode? Like, I know I had some issues with the channel and I couldn't, talk about Konosuba, but I'm like, I could have swore I watched every single episode of Caught Up. I put a review up recently last week and all that, and I'm like, there's no way. Did I miss an episode? Like, that's what I honestly thought when I saw this. I stopped the episode and went back to the previous episode and then cross-checked it with my last review just to make sure I didn't, miss an episode or something that slipped my mind. And no, I didn't. I made sure because of the way the flashback was done. So, yeah, there was content cut out, and I'm not a big fan of that. I've never been a big fan of stuff like that, especially when it's that apparent and obvious. But the second half of the episode wins me over, though, especially with the comedy, getting to see, just running away from the dolls and stuff, and then Megumin just getting all embarrassed when she has to go to the bathroom, and Cosmo has to go to the bathroom, and when Cosmo's like, let me the fuck in, I gotta use the bathroom, there's dolls coming at me. I was laughing, dude. Oh my god, that scene was so good. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Konosuba? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.